We're playing Snake in RuneScape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. We have an hour to complete as many challenges as we can, before the snake is going to randomly move forward, left or right. If we complete all the challenges in a chunk before time is up, the snake grows, giving us more area to play in. Join me as we work towards the first goal of the account, unlocking the Champions Guild. This is SnakeScape. Welcome back. In the last episode, we escaped the Garamda jungle, and we did a bunch of agility, and then worked on some hunter and killing ogresses. Now, we didn't really get anything too good, apart from in the Mithril Kite Shield, which is a new best in slot. The head of the snake is currently in the West Feldip Hunter area, and the tail of the snake is next to Corsair Cove in the Ogress layer, with it kind of like slithering back down. Now, in this area there are plenty of ogres, and at the end of the last episode I worked on getting a bunch of arrows, meaning we'll be able to safe spot the ogres and attempt to get the long and curved bone drop, which I've been working on for quite a while. If you don't know what they are, the long bone is a 1 in 400 drop from anything that drops a big bone, and the curved bone is a 1 in 5,000. With this area full of monsters that drop big bones, I think this is a good task to focus on, at least for the beginning of this episode. Of course, we don't know where the snake's going to go, so we're going to get prepared. Let's jump in the game and get to killing some ogres. I really don't know where the best spot to kill ogres are going to be. I need to try to find somewhere where it's easily safe spottable and they respawn nearby. Now, if I remember correctly, there was a safe spot somewhere around here when I was doing some oak fletching, maybe like 5-6 episodes ago. And these ogres all spawn in kind of a clump. I'm going to give this area a shot and try and safe spot them around some of these trees. But if that fails, there's no real problem. We can try find somewhere else. So I'll start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. But first things first, as there's a bear here, I need to settle something. When we were up in Catherby and Tavali, we didn't have the prerequisites for Druidic Ritual, one of them being bear meat. So I'm going to wait for this bear to wander back into this chunk, and then I'm going to grab some bear meat from it. Ooh. And that's actually a drop required for Rag and Bone Man 1. I'll take that, I'll take the raw bear meat, and I'll bury the bones. We don't need the bear fur. That's 1 out of 4 that we need for Druidic Ritual. I need to grab a chicken, some beef, and some rat meat. Now let's see if we can safe spot one of these ogres over here. I believe maybe here? Yeah, so this ogre over here, which is in just the top northeast corner of what's available for my chunks, he spawns just in these tiles here, and then I can safe spot him around these trees. So this would be a nice chill hour of grinding. And we got a snape grass seed from that last one, which I don't think it's too rare, but my god is it nice to have. There's 49 ranged. So we could be doing hunter in this area, as we do have access to the Feldip Hunter area just south of here. But there's one major thing, which is the main reason why I'm not going down there. Because I have killed 1,050 hill giants, 50 ogress warriors, and coming up on 25 ogres. And I haven't even had the long bone yet. I am over 3 times dry on the easier of the 2 drops. And I just want one of them. I just want one of the bones. Like, it doesn't matter how long it takes. I want the bone in this episode. And then once we have one of the 2 bones, I hope it's a curved bone, but I don't mind. I know that's a long grind. But as long as we have one of them, then I'll be happy to move on and do some other stuff for a while. It just bothers me. It bothers me so much that we're so far over the drop rate. And I mean, it's not that bad. It's only a 1 in 400 that we're dry on. But if this sets the tone for what the curved bone grind is going to be, I'm scared. I am quite scared. Ooh, a mysterious old man. I would love to perform a mime show. There's 50 ranged. That's a nice big milestone. Still no curved bone. That's alright. This is some quite good range experience. These guys don't have any range defense bonuses, which means they're quite good for training against, especially compared to like Jogers or Ogresses. But we keep moving. A few more minutes left on this chunk, and then we'll jump in the chunk picker and roll. This will be the final kill of the hour. Once he's dead, then we'll jump into the chunk picker. and see whether the snake is going to head up towards Yanil or continue heading west. Yep, and of course nothing. We were able to kill 51 ogres in the hour, which is pretty good, but still no long and no curved bone. Oh well. Right, the head of the snake is currently in West Feldip Hills, with the snake facing west. Then the second chunk being here, then here, then here, and the tail of the snake in the Ogress lair. So from here, we can either go into Gutanoth, which we can't get into until we've completed the Watchtower quest, or we can just go straight to the coast, which is a nothing chunk. There's nothing in here, which means that we'll just get back to shooting some ogres, no matter where we go. So let's see where we're going. And it's north. So we now lose access to the Ogress lair, which I wasn't going to do anyway because they dropped too many items. While we are in the chunk picker, there is one interesting chunk which I'd like to point out, which is this chunk here, the Dune Delta. Dune? I'm going to pronounce it like that. This chunk will actually be a chunk that can extend the length of the snake for us, because it has a teak tree in it, which gives a fire making and a wood cutting requirement. Which means that as we have these levels, we'll be able to complete all the tasks inside this chunk and extend the length of the snake. So that's somewhere I'm kind of hoping to end up. But before then, we need to get back to killing some ogres, so let's jump back in the game. As I mentioned a second ago, this chunk has nothing in it for us as we haven't completed Watchtower. So I'm going to get back to killing this ogre here and hope and pray that we get one of the bone drops. But let's start the timer. Come back here. There's 51 ranged. Absolutely no drops of note so far this hour. Had a few more snakegrass seeds. And no long and curved bone. We're now almost 100 ogres killed. And that is the end of yet another boneless hour. My goodness, I really hope we get it soon. We've now killed 110 ogres in these last 2 hours. Let's jump back in the Trump Picker and see where the snake is going to be heading. So in terms of like bone getting, our best bet is actually the Tree Gnome Village chunk, because in the bottom right of here there are 2 hill giants, and hill giants are so much easier to kill. I can kill about 100 of them an hour, and they have the same rates of dropping long and curved bones, so this would be a great chunk for me to unlock. But the main problem is that we can't get into Tree Gnome Village until the snake kind of goes in here and then kind of goes to one of the sides where then we can get through the access. But anyway, let's see where we're going next. Out of these, none of them really add anything. The West Yanil chunk just takes us further towards here, and we're very close to 2 banks. There's a bank in East Yanil and in Castle Wars. So let's see where we're going next. And it's Gutanoth Island. So we lose access to the Feldip Hunter area. And from here there's actually only one direction we can roll. We can only roll into East Yanil because there is this tiny slither here, but it doesn't add anything, so we're not going to bother with it. Let's jump back, and I really like this little spot of killing ogres, so we're going to do that for yet another hour. If I get the bone in this hour, I'm going to give away 1 GP to a subscriber. So get subscribed and you might win 1 GP. Let's just start the timer and get to killing some ogres. With the next guaranteed chunk being East Yanil, we'll be able to drop a bunch of this stuff off. And I'll probably swap over to melee because my melee DPS is substantially higher than my range DPS. I'll put it through a DPS calc just to double check that, but I think that's going to be the case. And there is 52 ranged. Slowly working our way up. We don't get another Iron Arrow max hit until 57. So we've just got to work on it for a while. So I've just put it through a DPS calculator, and actually my Willow Shortbow is better, which is quite surprising. It's mainly because it attacks 1 tick faster than my Mythril Scimitar does, which means that with the added, even though it does less damage per hit, it does more damage in the aggregate. So our time to kill is actually faster with a Willow Shortbow, which is something I wasn't expecting. At least with iron arrows. Actually, with bronze arrows too. So when we get a bunch of feathers, bronze arrows will be fine. We're actually faster than killing them using our melee gear. I kind of like where my melee stats are at the moment. Ideally I want to round them out at 60, but I mean range is just going to get better even with these levels. So while I still have a bunch of arrows, I will use them up. Just trying to hunt the long curved bone. I really hope that we get Trino Village at some point so we can move on to Hill Giants. Now, the only downside of ranged is that because I don't have very many good ranged defense gear, I'm going to take a load of damage if I don't have a safe spot. So as long as I have a safe spot like this one here, ranged is better, but when there isn't a safe spot available, I'll have to use melee, even if the kills are slightly slower. So just quickly looking at the chunk picker, one thing that we do need to do, we need to go and kill Gorad, which is the dude which lives on this island over here for the Watchtower quest. Now, we won't be able to complete the Watchtower quest for quite a long time because we need dragon bones at some point, but for now, I can go, I believe I have to go through the cave entrance down over here. That's the 7, okay. And then I can run through this cave and it'll take me out on the island that was over there. I think we then talk to the dude and then kill him. I need to get my quest helper out. I am no alien food. Okay, so I think if we go through here, oh, leave me alone, please. Aha, there we go. Then I need to kill Gorad. So I believe I can safe spot him somehow. I think like this. Yeah, there we go. You can just safe spot him from here. And there we go. We get the ogre tooth. He does actually have a chance to drop the long and curved bone. That would have been quite funny if he dropped it. Then we need to talk to Tobin. Do something for you. Bring him dragon bones. Yep, and that's as much as we can do. So once we have dragon bones, we can complete more of the quest. Let's run back to killing some more ogres over here. We've got 3 minutes left at this hour. And another hour. No more bones. Now, the snake only has one way to go. It can only go into Westia Nil. So let's run up there and dump all of this stuff in the bank. And now have my peak range set up with an emergency cake and a snapdragon just in case we get a Dr. Jekyll. So let's run down and keep killing some ogres in what is surprisingly the best gear I have. Just while I'm at it, I'm going to grab another bear meat because I feel like I'm going to ruin the other one somehow. Mysterious old man. I would love to solve a maze. And feathers, please. Hey, we got 900 feathers for that. And a bunch of iron arrows. That's a perfect maze. So like in total, that's like 1,500 ammo for me, which is exactly what I need. 44 prep. Ooh, we get eagle eye. Flip this. 53 ranged. And we've now killed 200 ogres. I mean, I'm just really interested about when we're gonna get our first long bone. Like, will we go 4 times dry? Will we go 5 times dry? Will we get the curved bone before we get a long bone? Maybe. I have no idea. Another hour, still no long curved bone. Now 213 ogres killed. So let's jump in the champ picker and see where we're going, because there might be some interesting choices coming up. So with the snake facing north out of Nightmare Zone, we have something interesting, which is that if we go up to Fight Arena, which is a completed chunk, we've done everything in this chunk, we have an option to skip this chunk. So leave it for an hour, like not use the time that it gives us. And I'm thinking I might do that because it doesn't have anything in it. There's nothing useful. And at the moment, I only have ogres unlocked for long and curved bones, where I really want to see whether I can get either Trino Village or even Westia Nil that has more ogres in it. But there's more chunks around here which have things that drop a long bone. But of course, we could just go the other direction. So let's see where we're going. And it is the Fight Arena. Okay, we lose access to the really good spot that we were just using. But now here comes an interesting predicament. I would like these Hill Giants, and I think I'm going to not use the hour that the Fight Arena gives me. So we can only do this for green stars, by the way. The red stars are chunks which don't have anything in them and no tasks of any kind. So I can only do it for ones that have proper completions. And I think I'm going to do it. I really, really, really badly want Trino Village, so hopefully we can get it. No, we unlock the monastery. Okay, we lose access to West Feldip Hills. And we've managed to escape going into Port Khazard, which could have taken us back to Karamja. The Clock Tower dungeon also has ogres in the basement, so we still have more ogres to kill even when we lose access to this chunk here. Anyway, let's jump back in the game, and we're slowly working our way back up to East Ardoin. One thing I've been waiting maybe 10 episodes for, I can't remember the last time, I need to restore my prayer. I haven't used it in forever. I've been, I don't think it's been full since the last time I died. So I'm going to start a timer, restart my prayer, and then I'll run up and I'm going to go to the basement of the clock tower and try killing the ogres there and see whether it's any good. Anyway, let's start a timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Pray at the altar and pray for good RNG for this hour. Oh, I also brought with me these iron arrows with the feathers, so then I can just quickly turn them in to feathered arrows just while I'm waiting for respawns and stuff. There is 54 ranged on our 250th ogre. Just give me one of them, man. Just one of them. I don't care which one it is. Just one of the 2 bones I need. Then I'll be happy. Because at least I'll have one. Of course, another hour. Another lack of big bones. Man, I'm really looking forward to the first long bone drop. We're currently at a total of about 1,350 kills of things which can drop a long bone, and we haven't had one yet. Anyway, let's jump in the jump picker. So of these 3, the right hand side is actually kind of a scary chunk to roll. Mainly because both this chunk here and this chunk here have a boat which go to Karamja. So if we go south, the snake will be blocking itself in, so we'll actually have more chance to go to Karamja than not. Only a little bit scary. Left is probably the best for long and curved bone grinds, give us the highest chance of getting into Trino Village. And forwards is fine. We keep access to the clock tower, so we don't have to worry about losing access to a place where we can get long bones. Anyway, let's see where we're going. And it is forwards yet again. So we now have a completely straight snake. That's quite weird. This chunk doesn't have anything useful in it for us. It just includes no bank, no anything. So I think we're just going to have to get back to using the clock tower. Let's jump back in the game. So before I run back to killing some ogres, there are 2 things we need to do while we're inside this chunk. We need to start 2 quests. We need to start Eagle's Peak and the Temple of Ikov, which, because we have the hunter and the range requirements, we can now start. So let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start by running down to the Ardoin Zoo to start Eagle's Peak. Hi. Here's quest doing. Start the Eagle's Peak quest. And that is exactly as much of that quest as we can do. So let's start the Temple of Ikov. I would love to roll the Temple of Ikov chunk just to go grab the Boots of Lightness, because at the moment we have actually no weight reducing gear whatsoever. I seek a hero for a challenge. So let's see. Start Temple of Ikov quest. Yes, please. Cool. Now we have a pendant. So now we need to just go down there. Let's get back to killing some ogres. I could kill the ones that are trapped in the zoo, but no, I can't actually telegrab them at the moment because I don't have any magic levels. Yeah, we need 33 magic to do telekinetic grab. So I am yet again bound to killing them down here. Ooh, a genie. Yet more XP to throw into Slayer. And there's level 18. I have no idea what the goal is at the moment for that, but having Slayer XP is better than not having it, is my mentality. It'll probably be something stupid like 60. We'll probably stop with the Slayer lamping. See you in, I don't know, a few thousand hours. 1 more hour, no more bones. Let's go back to the jump picker. Things are starting to get a bit scary. At the start of the hour, we ticked off the starting of both these quests, but of course we can't continue them until we go quite far away. Well, Temple of Ikov being just here, and Eagle's Peak is far. So there's nothing else that we can tick off. There's a bunch of stuff in these chunks, mainly because of the wheat field down in Yanil, which requires us to do a bunch of Puro. But as I said, we're still focusing on the long and curved bone. From here, we can't go west because we can't get into West Ardoin yet until we go up to McGrubber's Wood and pick up some berries. And the other two, I just really want to go north. I don't want to go east because east has a boat here which can take us back to Karamja. And I'm so done with Karamja for now. But let's see where we're going. And it is east. Okay. So this boat here lets me go just to Brimhaven. It's the same boat which is here, so we can go to Brimhaven as one of the 3 roles. Oof, this is gonna get scary again. Though Witchhaven sell feathers, which will be a massive boon for the account. Let's jump back in the game and kill yet more ogres. This chunk is very useful for having the bank just here, but it's the boat that's over here that scares me. One thing that I have thought about is that we still need to be prepared for when we get the Druidic Ritual chunks again. We don't get caught out like last time with not having the raw meat that we're going to need. And one of the other things that is required for it is raw rat meat, which we can actually get from the sewers down here. Yeah, so this guy, he can take you to Brimhaven, which means that Brimhaven will be rollable. Luckily, it'll only be a 1 in 4, but still is nerve-wracking nonetheless. Anyway, let's go down to the sewers, pick up a few pieces of raw rat meat, and then we'll run back to killing ogres. 3, 2, 1, go. I also need raw beef and raw chicken. I only have cooked variants in the bank at the moment, so next time we see them, I'm definitely going to need to pick them up. Sorry if you can hear it, but I am a little bit ill as of recording this episode. If it's that bad, you'll hear hopefully healthy Bushy in a couple of days. Redub this rest of the video. If you're wondering why I've tagged specifically this ogre and not the other 2, is because this is the one that spawns just around here, which means that he can be kited around to this point here where I can safe spot him. You can also safe spot them on the edge of this wall just here, but this is much more guaranteed. But it only works with this one because the wander range of these 2 ogres is too short. You can't get them all the way around the corner. Yo, more drip. We are ever closer to getting more lamps from random events. I'm still salty that I didn't get a single one of those during being in the jungle. Actually, I haven't had one of those either of the times that I was in the jungle. So like the 70 hours that I've spent in the Karamja jungle where there isn't a bank, I haven't had that random event. And I've had it like 3 or 4 times outside of the jungle. So we've still got 1 more zombie, 1 more freaky forester, a bunch more mimes, a bunch more beer keepers, and still we get to get. I really wonder how many more chunks this episode is going to conclude with me not having the long bone. There are 367 ogres killed this episode. Let's jump back into the chunk picker. This is a big roll for the account. Going north or east are great. They will keep us going towards Catherby, keep us away from the coast. Going south will take us towards Port Khazard, where once we're there, we'll have a 50-50 shot of being flung back into the Karamja jungle. And as I mentioned earlier, we have Brimhaven. I really don't want. It literally was 2 episodes ago we were in the Karamja jungle. I just hope that we won't have to go back there anytime soon. But that is part of the rules. We are yet to get either of the long or curved bone. And I said I would keep going until we lose access to the clock tower chunk. Let's see where we're going. Oh, I just can't escape. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We lose access to Yanil, and I have updated the chunk numbers. This is obscene. Karamja hasn't been rollable that many times, right? This is just insane. Can someone please tell me? I can't remember a time when I've had a Karamja as rollable alongside not basically like the ground next to the port, and I can't remember the last time we didn't roll Karamja. Like, I know the rule set of not going to ports on the same continent is like, you know, it inflates the amount of chance we have to go to Karamja, but it can't be that much, right? This just feels a little bit obscene. Well, I've had a little bit of time to think about it, and, you know, I guess we're just going to have to put up with having yet another chance of getting stuck in the jungle. But we need to focus on the one goal that we have, which is to get a long or a curved bone. So what I'm going to do is start a timer, take the boat to Brimhaven, take it straight back, and we should get the easy achievement diary. And then I'm going to run back to the watchtower and keep killing the ogres downstairs. Let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go to Brimhaven quickly. Woo! Karamja! This is such a unique place. And let's take the boat straight back to Ardoin. And that is an easy task in the Karamja area. Cool, let's run over to the ogres. And this luring shot here should be 56 range. Nice. I can't remember whether I was unmuted for that last clip, but just a reminder, there was a 56 range clip. Future me. And with this, that was kill number 400, which means we are dry on ogres alone. Not including the like 1,100-ish hill giants we've killed and all of the ogress warriors. This is painful. I just really badly just want one of them. I need any of them. Oh man, these next few chunk rolls are gonna be very nerve-wracking. Let's see where we're going. There is still no long curved bone. With the snake facing south, we can either go into Brimhaven Centre or over to the Moss Giant Island. If we go to the Moss Giants, then we'll still be able to hunt the long and curved bone. But what that would mean is that once we move down and across, there'll be only a 50-50 chance of going into the jungle. Whereas if we go straight forwards, it'll be a 33% chance. So let's see where we're going. And for the first time, we've gone left. So we lose access to the fight arena. We will finally be able to actually kill the Moss Giants that are there, and we can now complete the easy part of the Karamja diary, because one part is to swing over here and the other part is to mine gold near the Brimhaven dungeon entrance, but I don't know whether this gold counts. I'm going to change up and I'm going to kill the Moss Giants on this island because I believe they're lower leveled and this should be easier to kill. But let's run over and have a look. This is making me very, very stressed. We now have a 50% chance going into the jungle again, which is going to be just horrific. But I have thought of something which I'm going to do after we tick off these 2 achievement diary tasks. Is over here there is the adventuring shop, and it's different to a general store where it sells bronze arrows. And now I know I have a bunch of headless arrows and arrowheads, but I don't have any feathers. And we won't be able to access any before we go down to the jungle. So what I'm thinking is I might buy probably 10,000 bronze arrows just so I have enough ammunition just in case we go down into the jungle. Because I will lose access to this shop before I know that. So I think what I'm going to do is go and complete the achievement diaries, then come back here and buy a bunch of bronze arrows. But I need to buy a pickaxe for that first. It's weird that this is the first time that we've been going through this chunk, judging by how many times we've actually been through Brimhaven. We will be able to achieve the achievement diaries here because I just need to swing over this and then I need to mine a little bit of gold. So let's start the timer and get to it. I just got disconnected, and well, I don't really know what to do. I did mine the gold, and it did give me the achievement diary. Let me just restart the timer. I literally, okay, I think I have a clip of it, but I clicked, got immediately disconnected, so I missed a little pop-up. Well, luckily we haven't completed the Caramel diary yet, so let's run and do that if I don't get disconnected again. So if we jump across this, that is all the easy tasks in the Caramel diary. We need to speak to Jackie the Fruit. What that means is we need to go one more roll. We need to roll down into this chunk here, which is in 3 hours time. The snake's currently facing into the kind of ocean, so we're guaranteed to go here and then here. So we have 3 hours with this island here. But before we need to do that, we need to run back to our Doin to pick up that ammo. Just gonna buy 100 at a time and then hop. I don't want to spend too much money on these. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna stop here. This has cost me more than I thought it was going to. I think 6,000 should be a good enough amount. That is about 15 hours worth of shooting. And we have more in the bank already. So we have 2,000 iron arrows on our back. That'll make 7,600 bronze arrows. And that should be okay for a normal stint in the Caramel jungle. Let's go and kill some moss giants. I've looked it up, and the time to kill for moss giants is about 10% faster than ogres, so we should be able to get about 5 to 6 more kills an hour doing this. They have the same amount of health as ogres do, but just significantly less defense, which means that I should be getting significantly more XP an hour doing this, which is great. Another reason this is going to be much faster is I can jump back and forth between these two moss giants without leaving this area here. So this is kind of ideal for hunting the long curved bone. Let's see how many kills we can get in the next 40 minutes. Oh, a steel med helm, which I believe is a new best in slot ranged. So we can now take slightly less damage when ranging, because it has no range negative. Until we get a coif, this is going to be our best in slot. If my maths is right, I just need to kill 60 more moss giants, and then we're officially at 4x the rate of a long bone, which is lovely. I definitely wanted that. And a maze random. Very nice. Yo, that was a good drop. 1,900 feathers. That's going to be a bunch more ammo. This will be the final kill of the hour. We are literally just short of the next level of ranged. No long bone, no curve bone, and no mossy key, which is something I haven't mentioned yet, but we will need to get one. Luckily the drop rate isn't too bad for them. There's only one guaranteed place we go from here, and the same counts for the next hour, so let's just move the snake forward and get to it. There's 57 ranged. I think it's time for just one quick bank run. The drops from these guys are so much better than ogres, it's incredible. Another hour, none of the drops that we're looking for. Ah, man, this is getting annoying at this point. We can only go one direction from here again. But this is more of an interesting one with Brimhaven and the Agility Arena. Let's go pick up the Caramel gloves. It feels quite fitting that for my account, the very first achievement diary that we complete is the Caramel one. I mean, I wouldn't want it any different. So now if we talk to Jackie the Fruit in here, we'll be able to claim the Caramel gloves. There is actually one other thing that we can complete while we're here, which is to complete the Tribal Totem quest, which has started with Kangai Mao over here. This requires us to go back to Ardoin, and because we have that chunk unlocked, we'll be able to actually finish the quest entirely now that I have some thieving levels. We should be able to quickly get that done. But once we've done those two things, then we can get back to hunting the mossy key and the long bone. It feels insane that we haven't got it yet. But anyway, let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's talk to Jackie the Fruit. I have a question about my achievement diary. Here is my reward. And these are now a best in slot because they give me a +1 range. Nice, so I can take this Clue Hunter gloves away. And the antique lamp, I'm thinking is going straight into Slayer, but I am starting to get tempted by the idea of lamping farming. because farming is going to be really difficult to do until we unlock Tithe Farm in Karend. And you know what? Screw it. We're staying on Slayer. We've been lamping Slayer this whole time. This should be 1,000 Slayer experience. Which brings us up to level 20. Very, very nice. Now, let's go and complete Tribal Totem. One perk of the gloves is that those boat trips now cost 15 coins as opposed to 30. Ah, bollocks. I forgot to search for traps. What's we have here again? Have you got the totem back? Yes, I have. There we go. There's another quest point. We're now at 20. Just a reminder, we need 32 quest points to unlock the Champions Guild to start getting Champions Scrolls as a drop. So I'm very much glad that we are now almost 2/3 of the way there. Okay, let's run back to killing a bunch of moss giants. I really, really hope that we get the long curve bone in this hour. You know, I did say at the beginning of this episode that we would keep going until we got a long or a curve bone. If we go into Karamja, I might have to end the episode there, because there's actually nothing that drops along the curve bone in Karamja. So I won't be able to get it when we're in there. There's 58 ranged. Still no long curve bone. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Doing a bank run, I can really, really feel the agility levels. Like, we were able to get all the way from the moss giants up into the Ardoin bank and back again without losing a 100% run. That's incredible. Now, we are very close to the Pirate's Hook with the Agility Arena. We just need to do 2 more hours of Agility Arena and then we could finally get the Pirate's Hook, which will be a nice big upgrade. Or not. A nice big SnakeScape upgrade. If we end up going towards the volcano, what that will mean is that I would kind of want to just quickly complete the Pirate's Hook, which requires an hour and, well, I think almost 2 hours in the Agility Arena. I'm 114 away. That will take away 2 hours of killing moss giants, but we don't need to do that for another 3 hours time. We can still finish this one and do the next 2 killing moss giants, trying to get the long curve bone. And I'm pretty sure, if my math is right, we would have gone dry on moss giants as well for that to happen. I don't know. You know what, actually, screw it. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to keep going until we get a longer curve bone or we lose access to monsters that drop a long curve bone. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I will commit to it. 45 prayer, which unlocks Mystic Might. When I first started recording this episode, I kind of expected to go on rate for the long bone with the ogres. Like, we would have it by the time we left the ogres. I didn't quite expect that we'd be here in this situation, facing down the Karamja jungle again, killing moss giants, going, well, we're now at 1.5 times dry, just on this episode. I really don't want to get back in the Karamja jungle, man. It's been like 2 episodes since we were there. That's like 20 hours, maybe. It'd be so rough. And on the last kill of the hour, will we get it? No, of course not. Another cancer antidote. The seeds and the herb drops from here actually make us quite a good GP and banked XP an hour. Well, especially compared to ogres. But I need to run to the bank, because there is a 50-50 chance that we are going to go into the Karamja jungle and be locked without a bank for I don't know how long. Well, I think I've settled on the stuff that I'm going to take with me into the jungle at least. Bringing up a range switch, got a small fishing net for the Karamwanjis, some alkaballs, things that we can sell to the really good general store, the feathers to make the iron arrows, the rest of my iron arrows, all the bronze arrows that we spent a while buying, coins, and a snapdragon just for a Dr. Jekyll. This is great. On the plus side, we don't have to bring like our axe and our knife and the teasing stick, and because we've completed those chunks. But that just makes Karamja even worse. Okay, right. No much further ado. Let's jump in the chunk picker. The snake is currently facing east out of Brimhaven, which means that we have two directions we can go. Either down into the Karamja jungle, where last two times we went down here, we spent 29 hours and then 41 hours before we were able to escape back out of Brimhaven. And this would just be a pretty rough area to be in. We were literally there like 2 episodes ago. And forwards is the Karamja volcano. This unlocks a bank for us, so if we do go that way, we don't need to worry about losing this bank up here. In the last few hours, we were able to tick off a couple of things. We completed Tribal Totem. We completed the easy part of the Karamja Diary, but we were not able to get a Mossy Key, a Long Bone, or a Curve Bone. I double checked in my bank, by the way, we're only 1 hour away from getting a Pirate's Hook. But we still need to get the recolor for the Greater set, so it's worth doing if we do lose access to the Moss Giants. Oh, one thing, sorry, just while I remember, one thing that was pointed out a while ago, we can actually tick off this 40 attack requirement because we have a rune pickaxe, which counts as a rune weapon. So that can also be ticked. But without further ado, let's see where we're going next. Yes! Oh, thank goodness. I was so worried about going into the jungle. Oh my god. Oh man. Well, with this now unlocked, we have access to the bank, which is in here. We lose access to this chunk up here. This is actually the 6th time we've gone through the volcano. And to be honest, this is probably the most I've wanted it out of all the times we've gone through. Anyway, with this, we can get back to killing the Moss Giants on the Horseshoe Mine chunk. So, with disaster averted, let's jump back in the game. Oh man, okay. we can now put away a bunch of this stuff. Let's swap back into the ranged gear. And then we can get back to killing some Moss Giants. Oh man. I'm not gonna lie, I think I would have just ended the episode if I went down into Karamja. But we go on. I still want to keep going until we get a long or a curve bone, or we get to a point where we don't have any monsters that drop them. Now, because we're in Karamja, I do kind of just want to keep going. I want to get the Pirate's Hook as a little grind in the middle. We currently have 746 Brimhaven vouchers. And so that we only need 54 of them to get the Pirate's Hook, and then we can do a little bit more. But one thing that was pointed out is that we can also get the obsidian weapons that drop from the different Desire creatures down here. Because we have range, there is some safe spots for them somewhere, I don't know. But they all require the 60s of each of the stats. So we haven't quite got there yet. But it's something to consider as we can next come through the jungle, or once we've got a long or a curve bone. Oh, anyway, let's start the timer and get back to it. But yeah, sorry. Because we're in this direction, the next 3 chunks are guaranteed again. So we have to go into this chunk and then this chunk here. When we get to Moosa Point Docks, that's when we'll lose access to the Moss Giants, which are on the island up here. But what that means is with the 1 hour that we have it in this snake configuration, I'll quickly just do some agility and we'll see where the snake goes before we decide whether we're going to give up on the long curve bone for this episode. But let's get back to it. 3, 2, 1, go. We've got 2 more hours of killing Moss Giants. I wasn't even thinking, I just did this on autopilot. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. I was going to do a bank run to run back because I still have bronze arrows on my back from planning to go to Karamja. and I just automatically ran over. Whoops. I'm gonna run back to the Karamja volcano. There's a waste of 30 coins. There's 59 ranged. Yo, finally collection log. Let's go. It's a random event one. I haven't seen a collection log in like 1700 kills of big bone monsters. This is ridiculous. Actually, okay, that's a lie. The Heal Giant key was a kill log. With that kill, that is Moss Giant number 300, which takes us to officially double the rate of a Mossy key, which would be the other kind of co-log we could get from this. If we get to the end of this hour, we haven't gotten a Mossy key, a long bone, or a curve bone, that just, it's insane. We're like 4.5 times the rate of a long bone. We're double the rate of a Mossy key. We're nowhere near the rate of a long curve bone, but a man can dream. I don't know what I need to do to be able to get one of the drops that I need. Just anything at this point. And we have 60 ranged, woo! We can now use Red Dragonhide, which means that the Eclectic Impling gives 2 best in slots for us now. Both the, I believe, blue Dragonhide trousers and the red spiky van braces. So that may be something we want to consider hunting for next time we're going to Pura Pura. And can we get it on the very final kill of Moss Giants? I really hope so. 347 Moss Giants in the past 4 hours? 5 hours? I can't remember. We've done like 4-ish because we've done a load of other stuff. And of course not. Okay. Well, with this, we officially lose access to a chunk which has monsters which drop long bones. But I'm going to jump in the chunk picker and I'm going to make a deal with you, the dear viewer. What I just said about us losing access to everything with a longbone is a complete lie. The Brimhaven dungeon has, of course, got Moss Giants in it and Fire Giants, so we can go down there and we can safe spot some of them. The snake moves forward by 1, and with our next roll, we will be rolling all of these ports here, yet again. So I will do that, and then we will actually run out of space. Depending on where we go, there is a chance that we will get access to somewhere else with a long curved bone. So I guess I haven't escaped just yet. Let's get back to it. Right, well, I thought that I wouldn't have to do any more, that we'd be running down in the agility arena, but of course we can go down into the dungeon. This will be the first time going down there, so there's a few medium diary tasks that I want to do when we run down there. So let's start the timer, pay Sandybotch, and get to killing a couple of Moss Giants. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's pay the dungeon entrance. Hey, we get some more music tracks. There's 1 medium diary task done. Just need to hop across these. There is number 2, and number 3 is a stairs just at the back over here. Cool, there's number 3. Now let's figure out what a good safe spot will be. I reckon just down here. I don't really know where the best spot to do this down here is. I think this is good for just kind of a chill hour, because it spawns literally just here, can't hit me. I can stand in one spot. But we do have to wait for respawns, which means this is going to be a lot slower than doing it on the island upstairs. But we can't choose. I might do a little bit more searching for any better spots, but I'll stick with this for now. Hey, that I've been carrying around that Snapdragon for so long, we now have another super strength. Very, very nice. Bring it up for Moss Giant number 400. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to do. I I'm still committed to having this all in one episode, like getting a long or a curved bone in this episode, even a mossy key in this episode. But I just like I don't know what to do. I didn't expect to need 15 hours of killing ogres and moss giants and not get it. And potentially the last moss giant of the episode is a dud. That is insane. 406 moss giants, 420 ogres, 46 ogress warriors, and 1050 hill giants. And still no long bone. Ah! Okay, I'm gonna make a deal. Let's jump into the chunk picker, because if we go in certain directions, there's a chance that we regain access to monsters which have a long bone drop. So let's see where we're going to go, and maybe, just maybe, we'll continue this grind. And here we are. So the snake is kind of facing east out of this part of the Moosa Point dock. It's quite small because we're including all the rollable, but you should be able to see just here. We can't go anywhere from here apart from onto the docks, which means that we roll the 4 chunks which are not connected to our continent, which we can reach by boat, which is Port Sarim, Corsair Cove, Port Khazard, and Cathaby. When we lose access to this chunk here, we will no longer have access to a monster which drops a long or curved bone. But some of the chunks around these ports do have them. For instance, Corsair Cove is guaranteed we get one because we go back into the Ogress layer down here. Port Sarim has one just to the south. Port Khazard has 2 if we go to the fight arena. There's a 2/3 chance as we can go to Trinum Village and the monastery. But Cathaby doesn't have any nearby at all, as we can't get up into the ice giants up here, at least without rolling twice. Because there's 1 hour of stuff that I do need to do in Brimhaven, which is the agility arena, getting those last 60 tickets. And I would quite like to include that. But with where the rolls go, I don't know whether we're going to get access to a long or curved bone drop after that. So here's my deal to you, dear viewer. If we roll Corsair Cove, Port Khazard, or Port Sarim, I will do 1 hour of agility and then we'll jump back in the chunk picker and see whether we unlock a long curved bone drop. If we do, I'll keep the episode going. If we roll into Cathaby, I will end the episode here, and unfortunately I'm going to have to take the L on not being able to get a long or a curved bone drop in this episode. And I'm really sorry, I really want to continue this episode, but unfortunately I'm going on holiday in 2 days time and I really need to get this episode out. And I'll put this up in a post, but if you're watching this bit of the video, you'll already know. There's going to be a 2-week break after this episode. I'm going to have to go on holiday, come back, then record the next episode and upload it. But anyway, let's see where we're going next. And it's Port Sarim. Okay, so let's just double check. If I lose access to these chunks here and calculate my tasks, I believe the long and curved bone shouldn't appear. If we go down to collection log, yeah, there is no long and curved bone in the collection log section of the chunk picker. Here's an interesting thing that happens now. Last time when I went to Port Sarim, I set the snake facing north, but what I want is this chunk down here, which is the chunk which has the long and curved bone. I want this to be rollable. So what I think I'm going to do, because we've headed northeast by 1, and last time I set the snake facing north, we'll set the snake facing east this time, with this now not rollable. I don't really know how to handle this in future with ports that specifically have 4 chunks around them. Normally when I put a port down, I try and put it such that the most useful chunks, or like 3 chunks, if there are only 3 chunks around it, that's where the snake is facing towards. But with Port Sarim's case, there's 4 useful chunks around it. So I think this is a fair way of doing it. As we faced the north last time, we'll face east this time, as we need the chunk down at the bottom here. I would love to hear some suggestions on how we should handle this in the future. I could flip a coin, I could make the snake face up into the screen and roll all 4 of them. I don't really know, but I think for now we're going to do this. So to keep up my end of the bargain, just in case we go down and are able to continue with the long curved bone, I'm going to do a quick hour of agility, and I'll see you after the end of that. Well, I don't know how deep into the episode we are, like how many minutes in, but this is the first change of pace that we're going to have, because I've got some fletching to do while we run and get the last 54 Brimhaven vouchers we need before we can claim the Pirate's Hook. I've taken off all my gear, dropped it in the bank. So let's run over there and then we can start the timer. Right, let's get to it then. Just one last hour of this. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's pay Captain Obid and jump down. So as we are doing a little bit different strategy this time, I'm just going to stand and wait until the timer runs every time. I won't bother running over and getting extra agility XP. With this final ticket, we're going to have 800 Brimhaven vouchers, which will let us unlock the Pirate's Hook, which is going to be such a cool piece of drip. Unfortunately, we're not going to get anywhere near a level in this hour, so we'll have to wait for next time we're here when we get 70. But let's run up and quickly go purchase the Pirate's Hook. If we talk to Jackie, we can first of all hand in our agility XP. As I said, we're still 20k away from level 70, but this is what I've been waiting for. 1 Pirate's Hook. Oh, isn't that cool? Look at that drip. Now, that's actually 1 long-term grind that we can tick off from this area. And what it means is now we don't really have to focus too much on agility. We can do agility here when we want to. But I still think that we should wait until we have some courses and start running to get some of the pieces of Marks of Grace. There is one other thing we do have to get while we're here, which is 250 more to get all of the graceful recolor. And then technically, if we do want to spend more, for 60 Brimhaven vouchers, we can get 100 Amylase, which is equal to 8 Marks of Grace. So we get about 8 Marks of Grace an hour doing this, which is a lot worse than the majority of agility courses, but it's something we can consider if we do, for whatever reason, want to come back down in here. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to run over and start buying a couple of the feathers from the shop in Port Sarim, because that is going to be really, really important. We have 100k to go through, so we can get 50,000 feathers and start working on our fletching. So when we're doing this, you just buy one, it restocks every couple of seconds, so I can just click, almost continuously keep clicking just to buy. This gives us 100 feathers each time we do it, so we're going to be here for a little while. There we go. So with time up, we were able to purchase just about 9,000 feathers. So this is going to take really not that long at all. Anyway, let's jump in the Trumpicker, because I'm going to have to hold up my part of the deal if we go south from here. And here we are. Port Sarim, I forgot to tick up. We have been here twice now. We can tick off something, finally, a long collection log that we've been working towards for a long old while. We now have the Pirate's Hook, which I'm so happy. We haven't been able to get the long curve bone yet, and there's a 1/3 chance that we go into an area where we can get it again. If so, I'll keep the video going. If not, well, then we're just gonna have to say we failed the grind. There's nothing else we've ticked off in this hour. Let's see where we're going next. And it's forwards into South Draenor. And we have failed our objective for this episode. There will be no long curve or curved bow in this episode, unfortunately. I'll have to come back to that another day. Let's jump in the game, and this chunk is great for us because it unlocks two really important things. Of course, this chunk is only rollable for us because of the underwall tunnel. I kind of expected that to be an achievement diary, but oh well. Here we can steal from some of the stalls to train some pickpocketing, but the main reason I'm so excited to unlock this chunk is because of the friendly forester. We actually unlock forestry. We've been doing so much woodcutting. We are currently at level 68 woodcutting. We haven't done any forestry events yet. So I'm really looking forward to starting that in the next episode. As well, with this chunk unlocked, if we go north from here, we'll be able to unlock an agility training course for the first time, and we'll be able to pick up some marks of grace. But I'm going to leave that all for the next episode. I'm really sorry we haven't been able to get a long workout in this episode, but I hope that you will forgive me. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last episode for a little while. I am going on holiday for a few weeks, which means that because we were in the jungle, that effectively broke down all of the buffer that I was building up to try and get the videos out and keep them kind of consistent. Which means that when this video goes up, it'll be about 2 weeks until the next video. After that, maybe nearer 2.5. I'm sorry, but if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a like, or even a subscription if you really have liked it. And maybe tell a friend about the series. This series spreads best through word of mouth, so I would be really appreciated if you told someone about it. But anyway, I will see you next time when we will start forestry for the first time. I'll see you then. Bye.